Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Brunch with Boston Buddies. Today we have Fitz Koehler, race announcer, fitness innovator, author, pretty much generally great all-around person, and just a sweetheart of a woman that I happened to be lucky enough to meet at the Philly Marathon last year. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. This is fun. I love you and I love the Boston Buddies. I'd say I was introduced to you guys in Philadelphia and I just quickly fell hard for you all.
Right. I think Marty Clark was the first person to walk up to you and say hello out of our little group.
Yeah, it's a cute little story. We were at the VIP party, and if that's for sponsors, special guests, and you guys were the special guests. I'm just a, employee race announcer. But anyways, walking by Marty and he goes, "I love your hair." And so Marty had no idea that I was just getting hair back because I was super bald from breast cancer over the spring and summer. And I said, "Oh, thank you very much." And then he goes, "I'm a hairstylist," and blah, blah, blah. And I thought, "Oh, hairstylist. My hair, that must mean good." So it meant a lot to me that, a hairstylist liked my hair, and Marty's so fun. I think we share a similar energy. So we connected really quickly. And then he introduced me to the rest of you, and I get to pour love on you all weekend. It was great to see Boston Buddies all over the place.
I love it. And you've really been great. While we were running, at least the races that we had after that, you were really great with announcing. You always search for the buddies with the blue shirt, and you announce their name and they come across the finish line as much as possible. There you go.
Well, you know what? I want to take care of 100% of our athletes and make sure, the champion feels like she got her due. And then I also want the last person to feel like they won the race too. But then when I have my special people, I'm a gusher, and it's fun to gush over you guys for sure.
Right, we're your special people. That's nice to hear.
Mm-hmm.
So for those that don't know, I mean, you're one of the gigs that you do is race announcing, right?
Yeah.
You've done Philly, but you do a lot of other big ones as well, correct?
I do. I'm confident I have the best race announcing schedule in the entire country. I have Philadelphia Marathon, Buffalo Marathon, Los Angeles Marathon, Big Sur Marathon, OC Marathon. I've got the DC Wonder Woman and Batman Run series. I've got tons of other races in between. I think I haven't ever done the math, but I think it's about 25, 30 events per year. And they're colossal or they're super special like Big Sur, or they're just super fun. There's rarely anything lacking in the races I host.
Yeah, I remember I was at the start line of Philly this year, and I was just waiting there because I was like filming it for the page. And there's a lot of runners, like a bunch of different waves, and you kept everybody up. You had so much energy, and it was like a miserable day. Like it was raining and cold, but you kept everybody excited, and like every wave that came in, you had that same energy. You never like went down. It's not an easy job. Like you did a really great job.
So I gotta say, I think not everybody's suited for it, but for me, it is easy. And what I find is, the people right up front, the speedsters, sometimes they're kind of serious, but the further back we go in the crowd, the more animated and energetic and receptive it is. So, there are zero places in that start line of a big race in Philadelphia. Man, that was electric, wasn't it?
Oh.
It was electric, Philadelphia.
It was unbelievable. Well, you also had Meb there, Desi was there, everybody was coming up and high-fiving them, and you guys are just so friendly. It was a huge party.
Oh, so fun, which is why quarantine blows so bad, because I miss my start lines and my finish lines, and the pure joy I get to experience on these weekends I miss very badly.
Yeah, I guess, can you talk a little bit about how this is affecting you? And obviously, as a race announcer, all the events are canceled right now. How many have you missed so far?
So I had 15 of my events canceled within about 3 days. I felt like I was being hit by a machine gun. It was just boom, boom, boom. This is canceled. Yeah, so 15 events, which, I mean, I don't call what I do work. I respect it too much, and I appreciate my position too much to call it work. But so I miss the culture and our friendships and everything. But yeah, 80% of my income is wiped out for the year. So it stinks on a variety of levels. So I'm not going to complain about it, but I miss it. It
Yeah.
stinks.
Yeah, it affects everybody a different way, and especially our event management and races. We're being hit just like everybody else.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll be back soon. But it has given you some time to do some other things, right? You wrote a new book.
Yeah, so I have a new book. It'll be published in the fall. It's called My Noisy Cancer Comeback. And it's a memoir of the past 15 months of insanity since I went from athlete to fall risk. And yeah, what I decided to do when I was diagnosed, I mean, the truth be told, I didn't really want to tell anybody. As public as I am with fitness and running, I'm very, I like to keep my private life private.
Mhm.
And I didn't really want to tell anyone I was sick, but the fact that I was going to go bald and I was going to show up on stage as bald instead of with my 2 feet long hair, I felt backed into the corner, like I had to share. But
Right.
what I didn't have to share was the gory details. I didn't need anybody to know that I was sick. And really that's because I was averse to pity. I do not like pity. And I that wouldn't have made my life feel any easier at the time. And so I put on a little bit of smoke and mirrors through the process. And so,
Mhm.
for example, in Fargo, I spent the night for the DC Wonder Woman run series in Fargo. I spent the night on the bathroom floor sick, like, tequila hangover sick, was that sick. But when my alarm went off in the morning, I got off the bathroom floor and I put on my Wonder Woman tutu and um, I grabbed my microphone and I did my job. And the great beauty to my past 15 months is no matter how sick I was, and I was pretty darn sick, the second I stepped onto my stage, it was as though someone plugged me in and turned me on. And not all, but almost all of the really bad stuff kind of fell away from me. And I was able to focus on you guys. And what a gift. I don't necessarily think cancer is very interesting or cancer care, but when you put 15 months of chemo and 33 rounds of radiation and surgery and you mix that into 20 something marathon type events,
Yeah.
it was pretty interesting. And some of my race directors arranged for me to have IV fluid. So my flight would land and I'd go straight to my hotel or to some weird hydration salon for IV fluids. I mean, it was quite a whirlwind, a roller coaster. So
Yeah. Well,
I'll, I'll be I'll be sharing it in the fall, but a little hint or a secret, I guess, is that the Boston Buddies made it into the book. So
really? Oh, awesome. Awesome.
he did. Of course he did. One of the highlights in my year. So
Oh, wow.
about it.
That's so
And
cool.
and I was only writing on airplanes because that seemed to be the only time I was sitting down and shutting up. But since quarantine hit, I was able to
Yeah.
get the book done. So it's in the editing process now. And I have my final chemo coming up in 4 days or 5 days on Monday. And then I'll include that in the book and then I'll be done.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, I'm so happy. Yeah, because I follow you on Facebook and I see you post pictures of yourself, during the treatments and stuff like that. I think it's helpful for a lot of people to just see what's going on.
I
In
hope so.
thinking, yeah, yeah,
I hope so. I certainly didn't get downer about it.
yeah. There's a lot of people in our group that were affected by cancer. And again, I've said this in the other interviews. That's one of the things that binds this group is we've all gone through something, and there's a lot of people that have either gone through cancer themselves or somebody they know has gone through cancer. And it just helps to know somebody else that's gone through it, made it through it, just to give them hope, or just so that they know what to expect. The fear of the unknown is the worst part of it all.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone could prepare you for it. I mean, there's various levels of treatment. I think cancer is like each cancer case is like a snowflake. None of them look the same. Even my friends with breast cancer had different kind of breast cancers and different kinds of drugs. But yeah, I mean, I go into the gory and juicy details as much as I can, and I don't know. I feel like there's 100% of the people on planet Earth are affected by cancer in some way. I lost my dad, I lost 2 grandmothers, children I've cared about, which is the worst case scenario. So yeah, cancer schmancer. I'm going to tell you the ending. I live.
That's the best ending.
Spoiler, but yeah,
Right.
it ends up, it's a happy ending.
Well, that's kind of a good segue, because the American Association for Cancer Research is the title sponsor for the Philly Marathon. So what we're doing, I guess I can announce it now, is we were supporting the Second Step, which is a charity that helps survivors of domestic violence. So they gave us a bib for Boston, and we raised money for them. So all the T-shirts and everything that you buy, all the money goes towards that and the charity runner. So Boston was supposed to be April, obviously. So what we're doing is we're shifting. So moving forward, everything from now until the Philly Marathon will go towards American Association for Cancer Research instead.
Thank you.
I think you've met Mitch Stoller. He's the Chief Charity Officer of American Association for Cancer Research. We're going to have him on the show very soon as well. He was actually he was one of the founders, like of the Livestrong Foundation, and
Yes.
also Christopher Reeves Foundation. So he's been around, and he's done some amazing things for cancer research and other initiatives as well. But yeah, he's the AACR.
AACR.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Within most of my races, it's the race director that reaches out to me and says, "Hey, we're looking to add some more fun and energy and structure to our event. Can you come?"
Mm-hmm.
And with Philadelphia, it was Mitch that reached out to me and said, "Hey, we're a title sponsor and we need a boost of energy at the start and finish line. And we hear you can bring that. But, you make a tremendous spokesperson having cancer at the moment." So it was actually Mitch and the AACR that hired me for Philadelphia, and they've hired me to come back this year as well. But a great organization. And while I fully support breast cancer research, and I'm very grateful for all the research and efforts made in the past, breast cancer is 93% curable. So, while that's great news, it's not good enough, especially in a disease where 1 in 8 women get it. It still has a high mortality rate. However, I've had my heart broken on behalf of pancreatic cancer and melanoma and lymphoma. And so to be able to work with the AACR that supports funding and researching and curing all types of cancers feels really good to me. I don't need to only focus on breast cancer. I'm happy to just go after cancer.
Right. Yeah. Health is health. Doesn't matter which cancer or what it is. Health is health, like you said earlier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Marty Clark says hi, by the way. He's chatting. He's chatting us.
I love Marty.
And Natalie Dorset. Natalie Dorset says hello too.
Hello, Natalie.
She was our runner last year for the Second Step. She's great. She's huge. She's got a great spirit. She's just a huge ambassador of the sport. Love her.
That's awesome. Yeah, you have a lot of legit winners in the Boston Buddies group. It's really cool to be a part and see what everyone's doing.
Yeah. So I guess some other things, you do speaker engagements, right? Especially for runners. And then some of the things that I bet would help a lot of our people listening, that you can maybe just tease some of the things you talked about. Strength training for runners is something that you have a lot of knowledge about.
I do. And, for starters, strength training is the kind of you going to keep for the rest of our life. Choose not to do it. And what I find within the running community, and Boston Buddies are with people who are Boston, which means they probably take steps outside the norm, but most runners that's what runners do. They just run. And strength training and stretching, those are the things that will keep you out of pain. And, it's actually a video on the cover of my website, fitzness.com. That's FITZNESS, but it's called Strength Training for Runners. And it's a 12-minute workout. And I target the exact body parts that a runner would use. I wouldn't give you guys the same workout that I'd give a tennis player or a baseball player. Every athlete has their special needs. But yeah, structural support is important. And if you don't have it, likely to end up with one of the very popular runner injuries, such as, or pain, I should say. They're not all injuries: plantar fasciitis, IT band syndrome, hip and knee pain. You know, most people, if you are runners, you have pain for two reasons. It's either because you fell, you had a traumatic incident, overuse, or you're simply too weak or too tight. And that's what I find most runner injuries are: weakness and tightness. So, you know, I always say, listen, do what I tell you to do, and you'll run further, faster, pain free. But if you don't do what I tell you to do, at some point you're going to experience pain, and then you're going to experience suffering on a high level, and you're finally going to throw in the towel because you've been stopped, and you're going to go to the doctor, pay for that guy, and he's going to send you pay for scans. And then he's going to say, yeah, nothing's really wrong. I'm going to send you to physical therapy. And you know what the physical therapist is going to tell you to do? Exactly what I tell you to do in the runner strength training program. I have PTs out the yin yang and go, Fitz, that's exactly what I have my patients do. So, you know, make a preemptive strike and start doing the right things now. You know, this is the thing that will keep you resilient and pain-free. And all of my runners doing the runner strength training program, man, they PR all the time. And I love that message. Fitz, I PR'd again, or I love, hey, I'm running pain-free. And what could be better, right?
So you're telling me I shouldn't have just eaten that sleeve of Oreos that I just ate?
Well, you could do that. Eating wisely is a totally separate thing. But as far as training goes, you just have to be diverse, and you have to hit your body at all the angles. You can't just be a cardio guy or a cardio gal. You got to do strength training, stretching, balance training. Hey, falling down is no fun, and that will certainly keep you away from participating in the races you love.
Yes. Well, yeah, because, just so people know, you have a master's degree in exercise and sports sciences, right? From the University of Florida?
I do, yeah. And I used to train some of their athletes. I used to train Abby Wambach when she was a Gator.
Oh, okay.
And our national championship tennis and soccer teams. I've trained professional kickboxers and all sorts of athletes. But consider me your strength and conditioning coach. You know, if we were all on our team, right? You would have a coach that talked and set up run training, how many miles you do each day, maybe someone who analyzed your gait. But if you went to Boston Buddies University, you would also have a strength and conditioning coach. And that's me. And because the other stuff matters. So your group takes their running a little more seriously than others, I believe, since you're trying to be fast and actually qualify for something. So please don't ignore strength training or stretching. It matters, and will make you better for it.
Yeah. Strength training is one of the things you talk about, but pain prevention and management too is important for runners as well. Can you speak a little bit to that?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a spin on the same topic. So definitely strength training is the pain prevention, but stretching. And here's the deal. Strength training is a little bit precise. You should only work each muscle group in a strength training capacity every other day, blah, blah, blah. Stretching, you can do all day, every day. There's no limit on how often you can stretch. And then there's the management tools, foam rollers, the little heel rockers. There's these little inexpensive tools that you can use that can keep you functioning at a very high level. So yeah, you just gotta be well-rounded. And here's the thing, you're not just a runner, you're a person. And so, you know, if you can run a marathon really fast, but you can't do 5 push-ups, do you qualify as fit? I don't think so. You know, if you can touch your toes, but you can't go. There are qualifications to actually qualifying as fit. You know, if you can touch your toes or do all sorts of fancy yoga poses, but you can't run up a flight of steps without suffocating, are you fit? No. So you need to have strength and stability and flexibility and endurance. Those are the 4 criteria for fitness. And there's a lot of runners, a lot of marathoners, fast marathoners who don't qualify as fit because they can't touch their toes and they can't hoist themselves off the ground without using their hands. So it matters. And I always say, you're a person first. So before you're a runner, let's talk about being actually fit, get all those 4 categories of fitness dealt with, and then we can really focus on winning the world champion ship at the Olympics or whatever it is want to do, right?
Or at least cross the Boston Marathon finish line.
Or that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of the same thing.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. Yeah, because it is easy. I'm actually guilty of this. I typically just focus on running and don't pay too much attention to strength training. And there was one cycle where I didn't run as much and I did P90X. And I did better in that race than my other races at that time. And I didn't run that much. I was probably running 30 miles a week. And I did excellent. But I did that P90X for like 10 weeks. And I was in the best shape of my life.
Yep. And because you were powerful. Strength overcomes so many other weaknesses. One of the things I like to point out is, my income almost exclusively comes from corporations. So I don't have to take money from the individual. So I put all sorts of free resources up and available. So you have no excuses. These are free training tools you can use with little to no equipment. So on my YouTube page, Fitzness, there's it's the Hottie Body Fitzness Challenge. It's an online challenge I do, but there's a ton of little tiny videos. They're 1 to 8 minutes long, but it's chest and back workouts or only biceps or shoulders. There's a bunch of great little workouts you can use that you can just squeeze into or after your runs or before your runs, however you want to do it, squeeze them into your life. But strength training doesn't have to be complicated, but it does have to be done. Make no bones about it. If you fail to do this, you will suffer within your running or you will suffer at other points in your life and it will not be fun. And I tell you, if you are diagnosed with unfortunate like I was, whether it's cancer or you end up with Parkinson's, if you are not strong when you start your battle, it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty at all. So prepare your body for battle at all times.
Be prepared. And it's Fitzness, right? FITZNESS.com.
Yeah,
right?
Fitzness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fitzness. Yes. The play on your name. Is your name actually Fitz, or is that short for something?
It is my little Irish gift. Fitz.
That's a great name. Well, it suits you perfectly.
It does. Yeah, I started teaching fitness at 15, and I think I was about 20 when I finally put the two words together and blended it. So I got the trademark. Nobody else can have it.
So it was like last year, I guess.
Right. Last year.
So how about weight? I touched about me eating Oreos, which I literally did just eat a sleeve of Oreos, but you also know about like ideal weight and kind of where a runner should be, race day.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah. So, I always like to start with there are no diets, powders, pills, powders, supplements that are going to work for you a long time. There is no shortcut. It's almost like training for a marathon. You don't get to, wake up on Saturday, go for a short run, and then you're prepared for a marathon. You're not. Weight loss and eating habits are the same type of thing. So instead, I promote the exact formula for weight loss, which is based off of science and math and absolutely nothing more. There's no scam, snake oil involved, no payment exchange or no money exchange. So what the exact formula says is on average, science shows that the average Joe burns about 10 calories per pound of body weight per day. So using round numbers, if you weigh 200 pounds, in order to just run your body, I'm sorry, I'm lacking words today, but to keep your body functioning, all the movements you do, whether it's exercise, standing up to brush your teeth, pumping blood through your body, digesting food, you'll burn about 10 calories per pound of body weight per day. So if you're 200 pounds, we know you burn about 2,000 calories per day just to maintain your body as is. So if you want to lose weight, you give it less than those 2,000 calories and precisely give it the amount of calories to support the body you would like to be in. So if you're 200 pounds and you would like to weigh 150 pounds, your caloric budget is 1,500 calories a day because that's the amount of calories it takes to support a body of that size. Does that make sense? Oh, you missed me.
Oh, I'm muted. I was muted. Sorry. No, I got you. I was muted. Does that take into account if you exercise and burn more calories?
So here's the deal. If you're trying to lose weight, you don't want to re-eat the calories you've burned. You're trying to lose weight.
Right.
right? So that doesn't make any sense. So that's the caloric, that's the formula. And it's written much more eloquently it's on the cover of fitzness.com, right? With that article called The Exact Formula for Weight Loss. It has an apple with a little tape measure as the photo icon. But you should fill that your caloric budget up. You decide. So again, no one's telling you eat 1,200 calories a day or eat 2,000. It's customized to your specific goals. So if you want to weigh 163 pounds, your caloric budget is 1,630 pounds. And then once you hit that budget, you top out each day. Don't eat more. So 3,600 calories equals a pound. If you're 200 and you start consuming 1,500 calories, now you'll lose a pound every week. Usually you lose it a lot faster than that, but we're just going to pretend that number rules.
Okay.
But if you work out and you burn an extra 500 calories, now you will lose a pound every 3 days.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So
speeds up the process. Yeah.
It speeds up the process. So it would be foolish to be someone who's really trying to lose weight and said, okay, I exercised, I'm going to reduce calories. That just, you stuck in the mud. With endurance athletes, you have a different rule. So if people are exercising up to an hour a day, say you go do, I don't know, a 3-mile run, and then you do some strength training, stretch, you don't need to reheat those calories. But say you go for a 6-mile run, a 10-mile run, a 15-mile run, then you need to start compensating for calories burned, because that's the fuel you're going to continue using as you exercise. And some of those calories you may even need to have midway, right?
Right.
At mile 8, some people start snacking. And so you can add calories in because you've burned so much, but add in smart calories, have a Kind bar. Have a banana, for crying out loud. Making up for your calories run is not a sleeve of Oreos. I'm sorry. It's not a bacon double cheeseburger and 3 beers. And one of the problems marathoners often see is not everyone, but lots of marathoners gain weight because they're training for a marathon. And the mindset goes, I'm training for a marathon, I can eat whatever I want. Mm-hmm. And that's just not reality. So fuel your body. If you're an athlete and your group is not comprised of people doing Zumba classes, running a marathon is a very big deal. It's very hard on your body, and running it at a fast pace requires some absolute discipline, not only with your exercise, but you need to choose wisely what you put in your mouth and help that body perform. You would not put ketchup in your gas tank of your favorite car. Do not put greasy, oily stuff into that, performance vehicle you're running in.
Right. No beer, not even beer. Can you please?
A little bit. Hey, here's the thing. And I had some beer last night. Yay. Our quarantine was lifted. So we got to go to a restaurant, but within your caloric budget, I say, hey, 85% of your calories should come from good, wise, nutritious choices, and you choose what they are. I'm never going to tell you don't eat white stuff, never have sugar, all those things. Just make some really nutritious choices for 85% of your calories. And then the other 10, 15%, have a little fun. So I have a piece of chocolate every single day without fail. And if I don't have the chocolate, I consider it a sad day. I do not eat a roll. I'm sleepy. But you got wiggle room. You just enjoy life.
Well, that's actually good. I mean, that's easy to comprehend. All right, whatever your target weight is, it's 10 calories per. That's
really
zero
simple. On the end. Yeah.
Put a 0 and target that for your daily consumption.
Yeah. And I have a whole Q&A, a frequently asked questions, a section on that article, Exact Formula for Weight Loss. I also have a podcast, the Fitz in the Show. Episode number 2 is dedicated to the exact formula for weight loss. So again, you guys shouldn't be paying someone for some supplements, and you shouldn't be paying them for some scammy diet, whether it's keto or South Beach. It's all crap. None of those things are maintainable for life. So don't let people lie to you. It's, eating healthy is not so complicated. It does require a little bit of discipline, but you shouldn't be stolen from. And it really makes me mad when people try to do that to their fellow humans who are just trying to be a little healthier, right?
So what was the podcast again for people, just so people know? What's the name of it?
Like everything else, it's the Fitzness Show.
Okay.
And you can get it on iTunes and Podbean. And I'm blah, blah, blah. like that.
No, that's great. You're everywhere. You got YouTube, you got your podcast, you've got books, you're on TV, you've got everything.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll trying to poke people in the chest and get them to do the right thing. Oh, any way I can do it, I will.
But you do it in a way that's fun, like you're peppy, like, and you're leading by example. Like you're doing it, which is great. That's why I think that's why you're successful.
Yeah. Yeah. My mission is to make fitness understandable, attainable, and fun, always fun. But I think people allow me to lean in and be honest with them and poke them in the chest and tell them the cold, hard truth sometimes because they know I love them. And if they didn't, they might think I was being mean.
Right.
But sometimes people need to be shaken and rattled and rolled, and I'm willing to do that.
Yep.
Because I care.
You'd fit in with my family. We are brutally honest with each other, and people think we're mean to each other, but that's just the way we are. We're honest.
Yeah, you know what? It's one of the greatest compliments I get where people say, I love it because you're brutally honest. And isn't that amazing? You can tell someone something that jars them, and they appreciate you for it. It's a very interesting role I have. But yeah, I would like to come hang out with your family and we could all tell each other the truth.
That's November. Yeah. But you'd probably have to have a drink with us.
Okay. All right.
So I got a comment from a fan, Megan Thomas Robinson. I met her in Atlanta. She's actually local to Philly. She said, thank you for promoting Sound Nutrition. I'm a registered and certified sports nutritionist, and I'm so tired of the fad diets. So there you go.
Bravo, Megan. And yeah, those are my other best friends. It's physical therapists on the strength training side and nutritionists and I get along because, it's interesting how many people are willing to take nutrition advice from, I don't know, a neighbor who drives a bus for a living, or to walk into GNC and there's some $10 an hour minimum wage employee that has no education like Megan has. And they're willing to say, okay, I'll spend hundreds of dollars on you and your sales pitch, and I'm going to ingest this stuff. And nutrition goes way beyond that. Megan will tell you a lot of the nonsense being sold right now is actually really harmful because does it interact with your thyroid medicine negatively? Does it interact with your high blood pressure medicine? Is it going to put you at risk? And quite often the answer is yes. So, my guidance is always on strict eating healthy habits, but if you're sick, if you have some personal obstacles, health issues, then you go to Megan. You go to an actual nutritionist or a dietitian who's going to make a specific plan for you. So Megan, high five. I'm sharing with you because we're on the same page.
How about like nutrition during the run or ingesting calories during the run? Do you have any advice on that? Because that was something that my coach had me change up, and it made a big difference for me when I did it.
Yeah, I think it varies from person to person. Everyone's stomach is very different and everyone's needs are very different. I think it's important to make sure you fueled up properly before your race begins. So if you're doing a 5K, 10K, you should be able to hang in there without food for that hour or so. Once it goes beyond there, you're looking for a good combination of protein for satisfaction and carbohydrates that will give you the energy to keep going. I prefer to leave those specifics in the hands of running coaches and nutritionists who are dealing with you and your specific needs, because everybody's different. And, what might make you feel great might make me throw up on the side of the road.
Right. Yeah, not everybody likes goo. And they used to do it before goos were invented. So somehow people figured it out.
You did goo before goo was invented?
No, I'm saying people used to run marathons before goo was invented, and they figured it out, so it's not for everybody. Yeah.
What's so funny is I know a lot of people do it, but man, I get hangry. I try to fuel properly. I'm a bagel and cream cheese girl before race, but mile 8 comes around and I am not a happy girl. I don't like to run with anyone because it gets so cranky. I feel like I don't want my friends to see me so ornery. And then my stomach can't handle food. So even if I have little bits, it never takes the edge off and I just become unfriendly. So yeah, I haven't figured out my proper nutrition yet either. It's never worked properly for me.
Renee, can you hear me? No, my wife can't hear me. She gets real hangry too when she's hungry.
I stay away from her.
Yes, her and my little one, my 5-year-old. She's another one. She gets hangry.
Yeah, I'm not a delight when I'm hangry. So I try to, like I said, run alone and I don't have to offend anyone.
Now, something else that you started, I guess, was the morning mile. Can
Yes.
can you explain a little bit about what that is? Sounds like a really great cause.
Thank you. So I started the program exactly 10 years ago. I'm very proud. The Morning Mile is a before school walking running program that invites every child and their families to participate every day of the school year. So they're not necessarily training for a race or an event or any of those things. I'm trying to teach them healthy habits. And I think walking and running is the most easy thing for us to do. Not that it's easy in effort, but it requires very little equipment or skill. Most people can walk or run, and it's something you can do when you're 9, and it's something you can do when you're 99. So I really think that's the answer for society, is just start your dang day with a 30-minute walk or run. Right. And we won't have all the health issues we're paying for now. But with the Morning Mile, they show up before school, and through businesses, corporate sponsors, sometimes local sponsors, they pay for the program at the school. The school gets a variety of equipment, including a stereo. So if school starts at 7:45, at 7 a.m., the coach or a parent volunteer goes out on the field or track or whatever they have, and the entire student body is welcome to participate. So the music goes on and the kids start doing laps. We have a simple lap tracking system that works well for everybody. And some kids show up and they do 1 lap per day. And then some kids show up and they do 4 or 5 miles per day. And so it's called the Morning Mile, but it has nothing to do with 1 mile. It's really just a 30-minute chunk of time. And when I created the program, I thought, wow, if these kids do 100 miles, that'd be great. And 100 miles is great. I have kids, fourth grade girl, Ashley Hamilton, 2 years ago, came close to 700 miles in her 5th grade year.
Wow.
700. That means every single day of the school year, she got out there and she busted her butt with 4 miles a day. Now, I am opposed to kids doing long distances. I think a child in a marathon is a very foolish mistake and dangerous for their growing bodies, because they're children with growth plates and things like that. But with the Morning Mile, they get 30 minutes, and I think 30 minutes of anything is pretty fair. And it's just a lot of fun. I have the program in 400 schools around the world. Most of them are within the United States, but I have programs in Grand Cayman and Canada and Japan. And some of my schools are pumping out 20-something thousand miles a year. And once you become a Morning Mile program, you're a Morning Mile program for life. You don't have to re-up the license or anything. It's the programs I instilled back in 2010 are still going. And it's the most important thing I've ever done in my career. And I've done a lot of incredible things, but I'm hoping that by the time I'm done here on this earth, I've got the Morning Mile in almost every school in this country.
How can people find out about that as well?
Morningmile.com.
Morningmile.com. Yeah.
Morningmile.com. Spread the word. Yeah.
I would love for them to do that. But well, I've got a 5-year-old, an 18-year-old, and a 20-year-old. So I would love to see that. I'm all over the map. I would love to see them start that at the schools that they're at. Yeah. Whether it's even elementary, even high school.
All of them.
Yeah.
Preschool to high school.
Yeah. Well, everybody's a teacher today. Actually, all the parents are teachers today. So you can get everybody just to go out in the morning and just get them moving. That's why I keep saying, like, you just have to move. Doesn't have to be fast. You just have to move.
Yeah. And even though we are wrapped up in the running world and we think this running world is awesome, not everybody does. And that's just fine. Okay. You don't like to run? Great. Go do Irish step dancing or go swim or, it doesn't matter to me. Just do something to get your heart rate up.
Yeah. I have a lot of respect for swimmers. I've tried that. And it's a lot harder than running, at least for me. I can't do it.
It's super tough. I've actually been using swimming as a recovery tool since I'm working on getting fit again post mean chemo, post surgery. And I'm so bummed that they took my lap pool away at my gym because I was making such great progress. And, obviously chlorine is a great place to be if you're afraid of viruses. But it's interesting to see not only elite athletes. I have friends that are training for Ironman triathlons next to me swimming in that pool. And then there's these 80 and 90-year-olds that, they scooch into the pool area using their walker all hunched over. And every step they take is a painful one. And then they get in the pool and they're free. And it's just incredible. So I'm hoping I know everyone's trying to protect our health, but there's a lot of health suffering right now because of these lockdowns. And I want not only myself, but I want my old buddies, my very old buddies, to have access again, because they've got to be suffering tremendously without access to that pool.
Yeah, yeah. There's more than just the health. There's mental health. There's physical health. There's a lot to everybody's health.
Absolutely. And if you don't mind me backtracking a little bit, folks, if you're
Sure.
listening to this, a lot of us have had mammograms, ultrasound, colonoscopy, skin checks, pap smears canceled. And my oncologist said oncology visits are down significantly because people aren't finding their cancer that exists. So have your family look at your skin, take your hands, put them on your breasts, your testicles, squeeze your stuff. You are personally responsible for your own health. And if your government is saying you cannot go get checked out by your doctors, you're going to have to go to second best, which is yourself. So be responsible and keep an eye on your own health. And if you find something scary, be a squeaky wheel. I tell you what, if I was finding my lump today, they would see me or they would send me in jail. But
Right.
you've got two choices there, but you've got to be responsible for you.
Okay, so I should go get my wife. All right, let me go.
Squeeze
let me
the
go
stuff,
do
honey.
the exam. Nice.
100%.
She does. I do her. She does me.
That's how it works. Yes, there's nothing wrong with that.
All right.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Wow. No, lost my train of thought.
I'm just thinking about the wife. Good for you.
So there's another book too. You have a cookbook too, correct?
I do.
You've got everything.
I do. Anything I can do to help folks live better and longer, I will take every medium available. But yeah, that one's called the Everything Flat Belly Cookbook. I think it was published in 2011 through Adams Media, and it's 300 like quick and easy recipes to help you shed fat. And it was great. And I have a cookbook. Yeah. So there you go. Yes.
How does one create a cookbook? Like, how do you like?
It's interesting.
A hard process as well. You do hard things.
I do hard things, and we all do hard things. Everyone in your group does hard things. That book, I was actually recruited by Adams Media, who talked to my literary agent and said, hey, we have the Everything series. And I guess flat abs were popular then. I think flat abs are always popular, but they said, can Fitz write this book? I said, sure. And it's funny, it's 300 recipes, and they gave me a 2-month deadline.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, my kids were 1 and 3 at the time, I think, or maybe they were a little older. Either way, man, I busted my tail on it. And some nights from looking at the computer screen, my eyes would just shut off and they wouldn't focus again. And I had perfect vision. But yeah, it was hard, but it was awesome. And then when even though they were mailing me my own books, because I got, 10 or so along with my payment, I went into Barnes and Noble to go buy the book. I was so excited. I was like, hey, I wrote this. And the cashier was like, yay for you. Go away. So,
that'll be 1995.
Thank you. Yeah. So one of those moments you feel like a star, and they're like, off you go, lady. Shut up.
No, but it is hard. Like writing a book and having deadlines like that is hard. I did that. There's the Boston Buddies book, which I did for fun, but I've written a few for my job, which I do software. So it's like I've done a few books for that, and it's a lot of work. So I give you a lot of credit for that, because it's long hours, and it's staring at a screen all day and thinking.
Yeah.
It's mentally draining. Yeah.
Yeah. I've actually writing the my cancer comeback. This has been it's been enjoyable, I can say. It's a different way of writing. A cookbook is less satisfying than something where you're telling a story. And while there are a bunch of really gory details in the book, there's also all these bright spots, which were really fun to talk about. And the amount of kindness and the outpouring of love generated in my direction and my family's direction since I announced that I did have breast cancer. It's been an extraordinary year, and some really funny things have happened along the way too. So it felt good writing about those. I'm hoping people will enjoy the book, but I've had a few content editors go through it, and my greatest feedback was it's a page turner. I'm a really slow reader, but I read it in two days, and this made me laugh, and it's uplifting. And I thought, oh, good. So, they seem to like it. I hope you
That's
like
great.
it.
I can't wait to get it and read it. Yeah, and see it. Because one of the other things you present on, it seems, it's race fails, fun, and just like motivation. So like you have like goofy stories about, especially fails. I think those are the things that people really need to hear, because it's easy to see the successes, but the people that are successful fail more than they succeed, and they just keep coming back. They don't give up.
Yeah, it's funny. I have a university presentation I give at UF and then some other universities every semester, and I talk about my business fails, like how I built my business and the really dumb things I did or thought along the way. But the race fails presentation, man, it's a barn burner. I started off by talking about my absolute most nightmarish race from start to finish, and it's the amount of insanity that happened to me within 13.1 miles is absolutely ridiculous. And so people die laughing at my experience. But then I've had other runners share their funny stories with me, so I can retell during that presentation. And I'm just going to make a cattle call for it, folks. If you have a great running story, or you saw something wacky, funny, weird, send it to me. I'm on social media, and I would love to be able to reshare your story. This is Vince, this is where he lives, and this is what happened to Vince. I retell those little tales in about 60 seconds per person. And it's just, it's unifying, because everybody in the room has also had some sort of wonky thing happen at an event. And then people line up post presentation to say, this is what happened to me. Or some of them say, this calmed me down. I came in feeling a lot of pressure with the Philadelphia Marathon. It's a big deal, but now I'm not taking it as seriously, and I can relax and have more fun with it. So if anyone has a great story to share, and no matter how small you think it may be, send it my way. Send your photo. I'd be happy to blend it into the mix. It's a really fun presentation.
That's awesome. I do remember my first half marathon was the Philly half marathon, 2009, I think it was. I just remember when I was running about halfway, a guy came by me. He was barefoot and juggling 3 balls, and he blew by me. And I was like, this isn't my sport.
Totally defeating. One of my worst was getting, I used to be a full contact kickboxer. That was my sport I competed in for 10 years. And it's left me with some residual side effects, a hip thing, a knee thing. And I was at a Disney race, and I was at mile 12, and I had just ran a half marathon at Disney World the week prior. I did the challenge, like the 5K, 10K half. Now I was in Disneyland doing the 5K, 10K half, and it was at the end of the half, and I was miserable, and my knee and hip were so cranky. And I was probably hangry. And mile 12, and I'm going to say it, some jackass in a full Chewbacca costume, the full thing, like real Chewie, running next to me, and he blew by me, and I was like, I hated him so badly. You're the worst person ever. So yeah, we've all got them, right?
When I ran Berlin, and I didn't notice it at the time, but if you look at my pictures at the finish line, there's a guy in a stormtrooper outfit finishing at the same time as me. full stormtrooper.
Thank goodness you put on all that time and effort, right?
Right. Yeah. So it's getting a little late here in our interview. I want to respect your time, but I do appreciate all that you've done. I want to make sure that everybody has everything that they know to get in touch with you. It's fitzness.com, and then fitzness.com. Then the Morning Mile. Is it the Morning Mile or just morningmile.com?
It's just morningmile.com, fitzness.com, and then I'm on all social media outlets at Fitzness. So that's FITZNESS. And I always tell people in my clinics that from here on out, consider me your strength and conditioning coach. I'm sending you back with resources that you can use independently. But if you use them and you have great success, reach back out to me and let me know. I want to hear about it. I get to play proud mama at that point. If you have any questions or need help, always ask. If you're going to be running or walking in a race that I'm announcing, please let me know in advance so I can make note and keep an eye out for you, so I could give you a big rowdy shout out at your start and finish line, because I do love taking care of my friends.
That's so awesome. That's so awesome. And oh, I can invite you to our Boston Buddy Run Club Tournament of Champions if you're interested. I don't know if you're running right now or not, but we're doing a 5K Tournament of Champions. So this weekend it was sparked by Emily Morley and Gene Dykes did a head-to-head challenge.
Yes,
where
I saw that.
They raced each other. So a lot of people got pumped up for that. So what we're going to do is it's going to be like NCAA basketball where you've got brackets. So everybody does head to head, but it's age graded. So it's kind of even. So it's age graded, like age grade wins. And then, you know, every once a week, you know, the field narrows down by half. And then in 7 weeks, we'll crown a champion. It's all free. It's just for fun. I'm going to get a trophy made up. The winner gets the trophy with their name engraved on it and everything.
Super fun.
So if you're interested, feel free to join us. Just let me know.
Thank you. I'm actually just starting to run. From my surgery, it still actually hurts to bounce. I've got like trying to keep the left boob not bouncing, but I did run half a mile a couple of weeks ago. So
Awesome.
I'm walking long distances. I don't know if I definitely lose, but I'm happy to lose to one of your Boston buddies. So you can throw me in the competition.
Right. It's just for fun. Yeah.
I will do it.
The more the merrier. We got we're gonna get some of the big names too, like the older the guys that were running Boston and winning. We're gonna try and get them in there. I know I've got one that's coming. So
okay. You know what? Marty's been injured. Is Marty still on crutches?
He's not on crutches anymore. No, his ankle is doing well. He's hopping around, he's bouncing up and down in his videos again with no crutches. He's doing his push-ups.
He's the best. I was gonna say if Marty's going real slow, put me head to head with Marty. the gimpy crew.
You know what? That's round one. You'll be you and him round one. You guys face off.
Fair enough.
I like it.
Take him down.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate this. I love talking to you. I miss you. I think
too.
This was so great, and I appreciate all you've done for us. And I can't wait to see your book and read your book. And everybody in the Boston Buddies needs to read it and find out about your journey. I love it. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to hustle and get it done so it's available for you guys soon. Thank you so much, Vince. I really appreciate it. And I'm very grateful to be a part of this group.
Yes. And happy early Mother's Day too. Have a great Mother's Day on Sunday.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye, team.